Okay, welcome back. And sure enough, as soon as I go to turn on the camera, the air conditioning kicks on, so you probably hear it buzzing in the background. But you got to have it on. I think today they're predicting close to 100 outside. So I just thought I'd bring you up to date on what I've been doing in my shop slash craft room slash hobby room, whatever you want to call it. Been spending a lot of time down here, and you're probably saying, well, what are you doing working in the house in the summertime? That's supposed to be a winter project when you can't go outside. Well, everybody here in the United States knows what kind of weather we've been having for the past month and a half. A couple of days there with the heat index and all that stuff, it's been up over 100. You do not want to go outside. So I've been busy down here working on this. The wife's been helping me some. Coming right along with it. I do a little bit of every day, or maybe every other day or whatever, trying to get this room finished. As you can see behind me, what used to be the concrete wall that I was sitting in front of is now got drywall on it. I got one more coat of plaster to put on it, and that wall will be done. So I just haven't had time to work on any models. You know, trying to get this stuff done with the mess I got down here. Tried to straighten it up a little bit yesterday because I got some walls done, and I'll show you this in a minute. I'll turn the camera around. But it's just been, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. Today, I think, today is Saturday. I think by this weekend I should have the drywall done in this room. I've got some sheets to put up on the ceiling, and really I got one more wall to do right behind, in front of me there. But been putting the sheets up by myself. I got on the internet and looked around and found a couple guys that did it by themselves, and a piece of cake. The last house that we owned, I put up 95 sheets of drywall. I wish I would have known this little trick for the ceiling, because I got one row up already on the ceiling, and I'll tell you what, it's one-man job. It was a piece of cake. Went up easy peasy. So I'll show you a little bit about how I've done that in case anybody wants to do their basement. I also put a dryer vent to the outside up here in this one wall up here. Ran me a pipe down through the wall coming out down near the bottom, because I talked about I would probably going to have me a spray booth over in this one corner. So I'm all set up for that. Got plenty of plugs in, and I have my son-in-law. I probably mentioned this in other videos. He certified electrician, owns his own business. He's been doing all my wiring, so that is up to code. So I got no problems there. But yeah, it's just, you know, money's a problem. You know, you got to watch your money. Every time I get a check, I run out and buy a little something. But yeah, let me get the camera turned around here, and I'll show you why I haven't been working on models. Hopefully by, you know, when it does turn winter, I'll have this done and I can be down here working on that model. Alright, so let me get the camera turned around and show you what I've been up to. Alright, so I'm going to go handheld on this one. As you can see, here's the basement steps that come down. Alright, and then there will be a door right here. Comes into the room. Now you can see how much drywalling I got done. Just put these sheets up yesterday. And that section of the ceiling, sorry about the lights if they blow it out. Got that section of ceiling up, and have my luck that the seam winds up right on a light. But my son-in-law, he told me these lights should be 2 foot away from that wall. If you put them too close to that wall, then they shine too much down on that wall. So why is it going out of focus? I'm on. Let me find something to focus on. There we go. So he's the one that set up the can lights for me. You can see I got insulation up in that ceiling. That is done because our bedroom is right above this, and trying to, you know, deaden the sound. If I'm down here working, I got a stereo on or something, and she's up in bed, and I'm trying to deaden that sound between this room and the bedroom upstairs. All the exterior walls are insulated, and like I said, I got one more coat of drywall mud to put on that wall. Now all my plugs, I raised them up. I got them like 35 inches off the floor, and I did that because I didn't want to be crawling under these desks every time I want to plug something in. So that workbench is not going to stay there. And you can see the clutter I got. That's going to be my workbench for working on models. And I got tools on it, models sitting on it, everything. But that's why I put my plugs so high off the floor. So if I need to plug in my, say, soldering iron, right there's a plug. But this bench will actually be moved over to this wall. Okay. And then there's going to be a set of doors here, a set of double doors that go between this here and this here, because I got to close that off, but I can't seal it off. So there's going to be a set of doors there. Then I come around, and pretty much the way we got it set up now, I think, is the way it's going to be. My desk is going to go there, and I'm downloading some video. This wall needs to be finished, and then that'll be it for the walls. But I've got to hang my ceiling first. Always do your ceiling first, because then that wall, the edge of that wall, will help hold that ceiling on that edge. Alright, and there's how much more drywall I got left. I got enough to do this area. But I put plenty of plugs in. I got plenty of plugs. And I think this area over here, it's kind of hard to see with all that wood sitting there, but I think that area is probably going to be my wife's art tables, or over in this area. Now, I brought that vent in for my spray booth if I ever get one. I was originally going to take the pipe and bring it in through the ceiling and then run it down. And then I got to thinking, well, maybe I could hide that pipe inside that wall. And it worked out. I got a 4-inch pipe in there, and a 2x4 is 3.5 inches. And because I held that wall away from the concrete 1 inch, I was able to get a 4-inch pipe inside that wall between the joists. And it comes out down here. Let me see if I can find it. And there's my vent right there. And I plan to have a spray booth in that corner. Okay, so you'll see some wires hanging down right here and right here, because I got 2 4-foot fluorescent fixtures I got to put up. Had to argue with my son-in-law and my wife. I don't like them up there, but I want to flood this room with as much light as I can get. Alright, now that one can light there has got an LED in it, and it does pretty good shining on that wall. Now this other one here, you can see the difference in the two, but that's just a regular bulb, and it doesn't have a trim on it yet, so that's why that's kind of a different shadow on that wall. And then we get over here in this little cubby area over here, where I'm going to put some shelves so I can put things in there and get my desk cleaned off and all that. That in there, and part of this wall has already been primered. So all I got to do, I got the paint. My wife's going to paint the inside of this. Then I got to get some brackets and hang some shelves, and I can clear out all that stuff under the steps and all that stuff sitting on here. So So hopefully within the next week or so that will be done. But yeah, I had a couple guys ask me, you know, they were saying, well, we're buying a new house, and keep me up to date, because he was planning on doing this. But yeah, if you hold your 2x4s up about an inch away from that wall, that concrete exterior wall, because you really don't want that wood touching concrete. All along the bottom, I've got a piece of pressure treated, okay? And then I got it, I'll show you here. Borrowed my son-in-law's hammer drill, and I anchored that wall right there every so many, probably 1.5 feet. So that's a piece of pressure treated, anchored to that floor. And then all the walls go up and meet the ceiling joists. But yeah, if you can, if you do that by holding them away, a 4-inch piece of pipe should go in there. And I just bought a dryer vent hose thing for outside with the little flappers on it, you know what I mean? And that's up in there, goes outside. Had to drill that hole. That was a treat. Had to drill a 4-inch hole. But I got that all set up now. But yeah, you know, I come down here every day and sit and look and think what I got to do. I've got a challenge over here. I'm going to have regular drywall ceiling up to about the end of this beam right here. And then from there on in, it's going to be a drop ceiling, because I just got too much stuff going on in here that I can't cover that up. If I ever have a leak in the bathroom or anything, I don't have to worry about tearing down drywall. I just have to be careful what I put over in this one corner, because if that pipe leaks, I don't want it leaking on anything I got on them shelves. So I got to be careful what I put on the shelves over in that corner. The floor is still, we're still talking about that. I wanted to get that epoxy paint and just paint it, because it's just a craft room. But the wife, she wants some laminate flooring down here, so we're still talking about that yet. And then once this gets done, I'm going to take a break, and then we start on that side. You can see I already got some of my 2x4s running on down that wall. But then we'll get all this done. There'll be a bedroom back in that corner, way back there, bathroom next to it, big storage room over in this other corner, and then this whole center area will be like family room with a bar being right on the other side of these steps. Got to have that bar. So that's where I'm at. That's why you haven't seen me for a while, and I've been pretty busy down here. So let me show you a little trick. I can't do it right now, but I'll show you how I hung. Those are 4x8 sheets of drywall I got. Those right there, 4x8, ½ inch. And that's just enough for one man to handle. I think they say they're 45 pounds, but try picking one of them up. It's a weird 45 pounds. But to get one of them up there, let me show you the little trick I saw on the internet. And it's fantastic. One man can put that drywall up by himself, because I did it. She was upstairs yesterday getting us something to drink, and I threw that one sheet up there by myself. So let me show you, get the little thing I got, or what I got, and I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so here it is. This is the contraption. And all that is a 2x4. And I made a modification in mine from what the guy on the internet did. That's a 2x4. It's about, I think it's 3 feet long, maybe 4 feet. And I screwed on a piece of 3/4 inch plywood onto the back of it. I made mine a little thicker, okay? And then I took and got me some 3-inch screws that go through. Now I did go out and buy me some 3.5 inchers, because those just barely go in, but they work. Bought me some 3-inch screws, drilled some holes in this wood, ran them screws through there with a washer. And what you do is you take this thing. Let me find a place to do this. We'll just do it right here. You take this and you set this right up against where your ceiling's going to go, your drywall for your ceiling, and you screw that into your 2x4s on the wall, okay? And you get it up there within a 1/2 inch, because I got 1/2 inch drywall. You got to leave that 1/2 inch space, okay? And then you just come along and you set your edge of your drywall up on there. That's the hardest part, just raising it up to get it up on that ledge and hold it up there. And then, I know you're just looking at a bare wall, and then you take these two little things, there's two of these, little bitty ones, okay? They're about 8-10 inches long, and same thing, drill screw through it, but this is not attached, this here. And what you do is, you measure out a little past 4 feet where your drywall is. See, there's the edge of my drywall. Now I got that other board over there, and then you screw this up here within a couple inches of that, okay? And then when you set your drywall up there, you push it up tight to the roof, you just spin this, and that holds that in. And you got two of these up there, one, you know, about 2 feet off that end, one about 2 feet off this end, and you just twist them. And between that board down there and these two little things, hold your drywall right up there. And you can walk away from it. And then I had to cut out my can lights. I used my Dremel with one of them drywall bit cutters. That was a treat. So that's how you do that. Now, you're asking what happens now. I can't put that other board up here because I don't have a wall. Well, now you get this thing right here. And I think that's a 3/4 by 6 inch and a 3/4 by 4 inch. And you screw them together. So you got a lip on it like that. Okay? Let me try and pick this up with one hand. And then you take that. It's kind of hard to do. Hold on. I'm about to lose it. Let me flip it around in my hand. There we go. Then I will take this, and naturally the camera went out of focus because it hasn't got nothing to focus on. There we go. And you hold that up there, and then you screw that through your drywall you already got up there, and now you got a lip to set that next sheet of drywall on. And you use your two little twisty things on the other end again. Piece of cake. I mean, if I'd have known it would have been this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago. But one man puts up a 4x8 sheet, nothing to it. So that's how I did that. Now, I think I'm gonna sell these things. So, for 3 easy payments of $19.95 each, you will get a wall thing, 2 twisters, and a ceiling thing. And if that's not enough, if you were born on the second Tuesday of the month at 6:53, I will throw in a cordless screwdriver. Yes. Right there. Has forward and reverse. So, if you call within the next 10 minutes and 57 seconds, you will receive, at no extra charge, 2 wall things, 2 more twisters, and a ceiling thing. Now this is a limited time offer, not sold in any stores. So, if you hurry and you call within the next 45 minutes and 76 seconds, I will ship them for free. So there you go. I think I'm going to quit making models and sell my wall thing, my twisters, and my ceiling thing. All right, that's enough. Gotta go. Gotta hang some drywall. Like I said, today's Saturday. Hopefully by tomorrow, this will all be done, drywall down here. This shouldn't take me no time at all now that I know how to do it. All right, thanks for watching. I did have one question. What's my agenda for getting on the models? I don't know. I was hoping by October, but you know, the drywall part is nothing. It's the mudding. That's fun. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad, but it's, you know, that's at least 3 days. If you're putting 3 coats on, that's 3 days. And then you got a primer or a sand, and then you got a primer, and then you got to paint, you know, and you're constantly moving stuff out of your way. And you're probably saying, why don't I take this into the other room? I got enough crap in there. All I got to do is just cover it up and pull it out of the way. So that's where I'm at. Trying to think if I had any other questions. Oh yeah, that's one other thing. I keep getting questions. Guys ask me, and I don't mind answering them. But they'll ask me something about, especially the blue nose in the Arizona. I get more questions on them. And the thing is, they'll ask me questions that if they watched my videos, their question is answered in them videos, you know. But I guess they watch 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden all these questions pop into their head. You know, what kind of paint did you use, this and that. Well, when I do that part, I usually talk about it and tell you what I'm using. But because I've been pretty busy and I've been having, you know, it takes me a few days to get to the comments and answer them. But just for any of you new guys out there, yeah, just finish watching the videos, and if you've got a question, no problem, I'll answer it. All right, so thanks for watching. Probably post another video once I get this all done, so we can see it in action. I just like to get my plugs hooked up. Can't do none of that till I'm done painting and everything, because I only got 1 plug I'm using. And you're wondering, why do I have 2 plugs there? Well, this plug and all these around the walls all run together. Sorry about the fast camera movement. This plug here is a dedicated plug for a little space heater if I want to put one down here. My son-in-law says, yeah, that little heater draws some amperage. He said it wouldn't be a bad idea to put it on its own circuit. So that's what that's for. Because I don't want to have all kinds of things plugged in working down here and kick that little space heater in, and all of a sudden it blows everything. I don't know though, with all this insulation I got in here, it ought to stay pretty nice down here. You know, I do have 1 vent over here. So in the last house we had, we closed them vents off. Never used them because it gets so hot down there. If you was having a party or something, you'd have them things closed off in the dead of winter with the window open. So it ought to stay pretty good down here. I shouldn't have no problem with that. Okay, and if you remember, on the other side of that wall is my furnace room. So that's why that wall is at an angle. Because I got the hot water heater back over there. Furnace, you can see right there. And I originally wanted to put a door in there, but, you know, maybe someday down the road, but I doubt it. I think it's all right. All right, so there goes the furnace again, kicking in. So I'm going to say goodbye on this one and see you probably in another month. Okay, so here it is, Sunday evening. It's a little after 7 o'clock. And I got all the drywall done. The first part of this video was Saturday. I showed you and how I had some more of the ceiling to do and stuff. And this one wall right here was all open. So So I got it all finished, all drywalled. Now comes the fun part, the mudding. Oh, there we go, losing focus. I don't mind the mudding. The only part I hate is up in the corners, you know. I hate that part. The rest of the mudding's a piece of cake, you know. But yeah, like I said, I had a couple guys, you know, that wanted me to keep them posted on what I was doing. And one fellow from up in Canada, you know who you are, Bill, said he was buying a house and was going to do some remodeling down in his basement. Like I said, I kept all the drywall 1/2 inch off the floor. I didn't want that drywall touching the floor. And I'd mentioned this before, my plugs are 35 inches off the floor because, like I had mentioned, I didn't want to be climbing under the desk and stuff to plug something in. One thing I did, I wish I would have done it different, is my son-in-law wanted the wiring in the wall at least a foot away from the box so he could staple it to the 2x4. And I ran that wiring 51 inches off the floor to give him plenty of room between the wiring and the box. I should have ran that wire down below the box. Live and learn. You know, this is my practice room. Once I get onto the other side, I'll have my act together. But with it being 51 inches off the floor, I don't think I'll have a problem, you know, because if you go to hang a picture, you know, you want to make sure, even though the wiring is inside the stud, drilled holes all the way down. But I wish I would have put that wire down below a minimum of a foot away, and then he could have stapled and got up to the box. So my mistake, but I don't think it's going to hurt nothing. I also, for all my plugs down here, if I hadn't mentioned this before, I ran 12-2 wire because I've got 8 plugs down here, and I wanted to make sure if I got the soldering iron plugged in and maybe a lamp here and something else there, and she's doing something, got something plugged in, I don't want to be blowing a fuse. So I ran heavy duty wire to 12-2 for all my plugs. Okay. And I mentioned that before, that one's dedicated by itself. So all the rest of the wiring for the lights, for all the can lights, was 14-2. Because that ain't gonna draw much. But yeah, I got it all mudded up, or I'm sorry, all drywalled up. One little mistake I made, and you know, like I said, you live and learn. This wall here is angled from over there because of the furnace room being back in there. If I'd have brought that wall this way about 2.5 more inches, I wouldn't have had to do this. I got a 4x8 sheet right there from the edge of the door, comes down, and I was 2.5 inches off from meeting that wall. But you know, I haven't done this, that last basement I did 15, 20 years ago, probably more than that, 25 years ago. But it's all coming back to me. This is all, and why it's taking so long, this is a one-man operation, me and the wife. You know, she's down here, I'm zipping out them openings for them lights, and she's holding the vacuum cleaner, sucking up the dust. I'm getting these pieces of drywall up there. I'll put a board there. I'll put a board along there and then hang that sheet first, and it rests on that board. So all I got to do is get it up on there, and then she'll hold it there for me while I screw it. She helps me drag them in here. She's been a lot of help. She did all the primering on that wall there and back in that cubby hole. So she's been a lot of help, and she's been catching my mistakes. Well, hey, what about this? I thought, oh yeah, right, I forgot. Thanks. So, you know, I just turned 67, and it's a treat trying to do all this stuff by yourself again. But them boards, like I was showing you guys. That's the way to go. You know, I'm by myself, and I can hang that sheet of drywall on that ceiling, piece of cake. So that's about it. Like I said, next is the mudding party, then primer and everything, and painting, and got to get me a door there, 2 doors behind me, and figure out what we're going to do with this floor. She keeps pushing laminate flooring in here, so I guess that's what we're going to have to do. And put up a little bit of molding along the bottom. And I'm getting there. Hopefully I'll have it in primer by the end of next week. And maybe in a couple months I can be back on my models. But yeah, it's turned out to be a home improvement video instead of modeling videos. She's coming along. She's looking good. And everything is done to code, you know, 16-inch on center on my studs and pressure treated on the floor. All the wiring is done professionally. Oh yeah, here, I wanted to show you guys this. I haven't got this sheet up yet, this sheet of drywall up in here, where I had to build this header. Son-in-law told me what I should do is get a piece of conduit right here. So I ran a piece of conduit down there because that's where the electric panel box is. And it runs all the way on down to the other side of that wall. So when it comes time that we got to do the wiring on the other side of the basement, we can just fish the wire through that conduit instead of having to try and get up in there where all them little holes were drilled for the house wiring. We just run it through that conduit. And then I took all my cable wires for the cable TV and mounted them all up above it. Because he told me you're not supposed to run that cable in with your electrical. It should be separate if you want a good signal. So if you're doing something like this, run you some conduit. I think what I'll do is when I get started on the other end, I might extend that pipe on down a little further. But once this gets drywall, there's no way to get up in there. So we just fish that wire through that conduit. Won't be much because I already got some wiring over there for plugs and stuff. We just have to change a little bit of it and everything. So that's about it. Just trying to keep you guys up to date on what I've been doing. Someday I'm going to get back to this modeling. I'm missing it. It's kind of soothing, but now I'm going to have a nice place to work. Nice big area. Nice big workbench right there. And have plenty of room for shelving and stuff in here. Maybe I'll put some shelves up along over there and put some of my models up on it because they're scattered all through the house right now. All right. Can't think of anything else. You know, it's supposed to be up to 100 again today, and they're talking severe thunderstorms moving in again. You know, everybody's been watching the news, what's been happening down in Louisiana. You just get these thunderstorms that pop up, and man, when it does, it comes down in buckets. And every time it does, I run down here, see if I got any leaks, and I have not seen a drop of water down here at all. Like I said before, that was one of the first things I did, was go around and find any hairline crack I had in any of the concrete walls, and I used that 2-part epoxy for that they sell for concrete, and sealed everything up good and solid. Shouldn't have no problem down here with any flooding or anything, because there is a drain over on the other side of this wall back there by the furnace. There is a drain in the floor. Plus I do have that sump pump over there. So if it ever did flood down here, it shouldn't get no more than an inch or two deep. But that is enough to ruin everything. But like I said, I've been watching it, and we have had some hellacious storms, and I haven't seen a drop of water. It's one thing you do, make sure all your downspouts outside are running that water away from your house. That was one of the first things I did. Went out there and made sure all that water has somewhere to go besides your foundation. Okay, listen, I don't need I don't need a bunch of guys telling me, hey, well, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. No, it's coming out, it's working fine. Everything's coming out just right. I can't complain. Can't say I wish the only thing I said is that wiring. I should have put that wiring down below. But, so don't send me a bunch of comments, how to do this, how to do that. It's getting done. It's my way or no way. Okay, I think that's about it. I'll keep you posted. Next video will probably be in about a month again. And I should have this all pretty well set up. I don't know if the floor will be done or not, but everything else should be, you know, painted and ready to go. Plugs in, all that kind of neat stuff. All right. So my wife wanted to make sure I gave her honorable mention because she has been a big help. And she's almost my age. So, and I enjoy this kind of stuff. This is nice. This is going to be a nice little room. I think from this wall here to that wall there is about 13.5 feet. And then I got about the same, about 13.5 feet over to, somewhere around in this area right here. So whatever, plus you add in that. So there's plenty of room down here. All right, I'm babbling on now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.